just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take,
but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Play ball!
Pitch the perfect idea for a family outing or date night with tickets to the next Salt Dogs game. Nothing says summer fun like an action-packed evening at Haymarket Park. Come root for the home team with a hot dog and a cold drink. Plus, visit saltdogs.com to learn about special events and promotions, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the thrill and excitement of a Salt Dogs win. Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today. Batter up! Join us this summer at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed Salt Dogs games running now through August. Visit saltdogs.com for updates on everything you need to know about weekly promotions, giveaways, and special events. That's where you'll find the latest updates to make sure you catch all the excitement and never miss a homestand you want to attend. Haymarket Park is your ticket to fun all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
We've been hunting these fields north of Kearney since high school. My buddy Ryan has always been my wingman. The life of the party. But I saw a change, and he got really down. Talked about his life being worthless.
If you know someone who's struggling, talk to them about temporarily storing their guns away from their home. Taking care of friends and neighbors. It's what we do in Nebraska. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Play ball!
Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Men in Nebraska can be set in their ways, but they can also be quick to change their minds. Just 10 minutes can be enough to step back and rethink the life-ending decision of suicide. If you have a friend or family member who's struggling with depression, talk to them about temporarily storing their guns away from their home. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes? Their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity,
Not to make friends, but just to get something to eat.
or a retiree who fell ill and had to
Choose between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something. Something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio. From the heart of Lincoln, America, this is What's Next 24. With the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome in. Happy Sunday. This is What's Next 24. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, we got the host, Mike and Sherry, in studio with me, as always, and a couple of great guests as well. With that being said, if you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. That is the Sartor Heyman text line, and I'll throw it over to the host, Mike and Sherry.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to What's Next with Mike and Sherry on 93.7 The Ticket, where we're glad to have you with us today. Each week, we sit down with people from around our community to talk about what's ahead and what's next. We share stories that bring hope, a little happiness, and a kind of joy that reminds us that we're all in this together. Sherry, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Oh, great. I'm excited for today. We've got a really good show. Would you like to introduce our guest?
I would love to
All right.
introduce our guest. You guys, we are so excited to welcome to What's Next 24. On 93.7 The Ticket, we're glad you're here with us today on this rainy, crazy day. Whether you're driving into town, enjoying your coffee, or just taking it slow, we're happy to keep you company. And each week we sit down with folks from around our community to talk about what's ahead, what's next. We share stories that bring hope, a little happiness, and the kind of joy that reminds us we're all still in this together. And that is so important. Today we are so honored to welcome two very special guests, Sheriff Terry Wagner and Deputy Chief Ben Houchen. Sheriff Wagner has served Lancaster County with dedication and heart for over 30 years, and he'll be retiring at the end of his current term. Deputy Chief Houchen, who has worked closely with Sheriff Wagner for decades, has announced that he'll be running to serve as the next Lancaster County Sheriff. That election will take place in November of 2026 next year. We are so grateful to have them both here to reflect on their years of service, leadership, and what's next for the department and our community. Today, we certainly want to honor Sheriff Terry Wagner for his service to the community. And man, I'm telling you, 30 years as a Lancaster County Sheriff, I can't even begin to imagine.
Yep. Terry, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Great. Thanks for having us.
It is so glad to have you both. Ben, thanks you for making this happen.
Yes.
You bet. No problem.
This is really awesome.
Ben, we're going to have to put you on the payroll.
Yeah. This third time on. No, do you prefer to go by Terry or Sheriff Wagner today?
Terry's fine.
I think we'll go with Terry today. But Terry, as long as, I'm a Lincolnite, as far as I can remember, you're the face of the Lancaster County Sheriff Department, as I remember.
Okay.
Always on the news, always out there, always being a leadership. But let's go early. We want to honor you today and tell people may not know. Tell us about the early beginnings. Where are you from and how you got started?
Well, I grew up in an Air Force family, so I was born in Texas, and we lived in California for a year and lived in France for 3 years when I was a little kid, and then back to Texas. And then my father was in Vietnam for a year.
Oh my!
And during that time, we moved back to Nebraska where my grandparents were, and then got sent back to Texas. And my father retired from the military in 1966. I was a seventh grader, and so we moved back to Nebraska, and I went to Irving for a year, and then Everett for a couple of years, and then Lincoln High School, where I graduated in 1972. So that's my early years.
Yeah.
So I was one of those guys nervously watching the draft lottery every year to see if I was going to get drafted in the military. And my father had told me, don't get drafted and don't join the Marine Corps because you'll be in the jungle. And if your number's low, think about the Navy or the Air Force. And so I was anxiously awaiting my lottery, and would have been January 1973. And President Nixon ended the draft that year. And so, I just looked up my lottery number here a week or so ago, just for kicks, and I was like 344. So I probably wouldn't have gotten drafted had they still had the draft. But nonetheless, I've sort of prepared for that eventuality. And then when they quit the draft, I was just working and, driving motorcycles and cars and having a good time. And when I turned 21, I thought, what am I going to do with my life? And I thought, I want to be an FBI agent. So I sent away for an application to the FBI, and I met two of their requirements. I was a U.S. citizen, and I'd never been convicted of a felony. That was the only two requirements of theirs that I met.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, well, maybe I should get some experience locally and see if I even like law enforcement, and maybe try to go back to school and get an education.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, when I first went to apply, I looked at the State Patrol because they were pretty respected at that time, and they wouldn't even give me an application. You had to be 5'10" to be a state trooper, and I'm only 5'8". So couldn't apply there, and the sheriff's office. I was working in a 24-hour gas station at the time, and we had a lot of deputy sheriffs come in. They would just come in and get gas at our station all hours of the night, and I was pretty impressed with Sheriff Merle Carnop, who was sheriff at the time, and so I applied to be deputy. And he came in one day and he said, I had longer hair. I was driving a Harley Davidson. I didn't look like I look today anyway. And he said, I see you applied to be a deputy. And I said, yeah, I did. And he goes, I didn't know you were interested in law enforcement. And I said, yeah, I think that would be a good career. He said, well, we don't have any openings right now. And I said, yeah, I know. I got the letter. He said, but I need a dispatcher. He said, would you consider being a radio dispatcher for us? And then when a commission becomes available, we'll get you commissioned as a deputy sheriff. I said, okay, I'll do that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I started on the radio. We had our own little dispatch center back in the day. I did that for about 3 months, and then one of the deputies resigned, and I got his commission. And so that was I worked the state fair in 1976. That was my first duty assignment after I got commissioned, working the state fair.
Well, let me ask you, during the earlier, I'm sure it was a lot different than it is today.
Oh, yeah.
The training, the tools that you had.
Yep.
But who were your mentors?
Well, I went through a training program just to learn how to operate the radio on all of our internal systems at the sheriff's office, and then my academy class was 7 weeks long. Today they're 16 weeks long, so quite a difference in the length of training at the time. And it was out in Grand Island at the Nebraska Law Enforcement Training Center, where it still is. And then we had deputies who were seasoned deputies who were field training officers.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one of my training officers, Rod Jacobs, he always told me, and he was about my size. He goes, there's a lot of ground out there. And he said, don't ever say you're going to do something that you can't legally or physically do. And if you think you can't take somebody into custody physically, back off, get help, go back another day. And so that always kind of stuck with me. It was very wise words that he shared with me. He was a very good training officer, as all my FTOs were.
Well, yeah, and from what I understand in terms of in those days. Not a lot of technology, correct?
Oh, I don't know if you ever watch, if you're up early in the morning and you watch One Adam 12.
Yes.
Well, they've got a radio head and a siren control, and that's exactly what we had in our patrol cars. Was just the head for the radio, the transmitting stuff was in the trunk, and then just a red light and a siren.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't get radar units until late 70s, early 80s, and then we didn't get cameras until way after that, up toward the 90s.
Yeah.
And so it was you had your briefcase with all your reports in it that you needed, and grabbed a shotgun and hit the road.
That's amazing. Now, did you attend the FBI Academy?
I did. Yeah, that was in 1995. After I was elected sheriff, I was invited to attend the FBI National Academy. The FBI has a senior law enforcement training program called the National Academy, and it's at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia, and it's at the time it was 12 weeks long, and 1% of law enforcement officers in America get invited to attend the National Academy. So I was very honored to have been asked to attend it, and it was probably one of the best leadership training seminars I'd ever gone to.
Doing that, and I know that you were elected in 1994. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
What did those experiences, the time that you, of course, became a deputy in the academy, what shaped your leadership philosophy?
Well, interestingly enough, it was probably just watching the leaders in our agency, what I thought was good and what I thought was not so good. And, making sure that the deputies aren't micromanaged, that they have the tools that they need to do their job, support them in that mission, whether it be with equipment or training or helping enact laws that we need or any of those kinds of things. That's what I see my job as sheriff.
Well, like I said before we just got on the air, you're the face that I remember for many, many years. I always watched you on the news and thought you carried yourself so well. Take us back. What made you decide to run that in 94?
Well, it really, that was kind of a tumultuous year. In January of 1994, Ben Nelson became governor, and I'm sorry, that was 1991. And the sheriff at that time was Ron Tusing, and Ron was selected to be the colonel of the state patrol. And so Tom Cassidy was chief deputy sheriff, and he was appointed sheriff to fulfill that term, which would have been till 1994. So in 1994, everybody just assumed Tom was going to run, and Al Curtis, who was the chief of police in Lincoln, retired in January, and Mayor Johans at the time selected Tom Cassidy as the chief of police. So now you've got an election year, an open seat, and so nobody from within our office wanted to try and run for sheriff. And we talked to some of the command staff, the chief deputy at the time, and the captains, and said, what, we need somebody to run. Our last 4 sheriffs had all been former Lincoln police officers, and it was just kind of a stepping stone for retired LPD officers. And so I had a couple of people kind of urge me to run, and it was sort of probably a right time in my personal life. So I filed on the last day of the filing deadline. I was the only Republican that filed, so I didn't have to worry about fighting a primary. And there were 4 Democrats who filed, and so they fought it out in the primary, and that was really good for me because I needed to learn politics. I needed to learn how to campaign and how to raise money and do all those kinds of things. And so Jim Pichon was the Democrat nominee, and I was the Republican nominee, and we faced off in November. Jim's a great guy. We worked together before we ran against each other. The newspaper ran an article about how cordial our race was. It was never contentious. It was never down and dirty like some of the political races are. and I won that election by about 611 votes.
Now, so with the county sheriff, Lancaster, Douglas, whatever, this is something political where you have to run for that post.
That's correct.
Now, do they have to do that for the police department?
No,
They're just promoted.
They're just selected. They're appointed by the mayor with city council approval as the chief. So
Why do the county sheriffs have to run it like a political campaign?
Well, I believe it goes back to Old England, back in the day, sheriffs were tax collectors and all those kinds of things in England, and whenever the Magna Carta was, 1215, I think.
Right.
The Magna Carta was signed, and the office of sheriff is mentioned in that document about, I think, 7 times. None of them very flattering, and I think the people wanted to choose who performed those tasks over them, and so sheriff's office became elected. It was the first elected official in America in Virginia back in the 1600s, and so sheriffs have traditionally always been elected.
So the sheriff's department is the only law enforcement office where you have to run and win it like a political.
That's correct.
Office. Wow. Not even state patrol.
No, state patrol. The colonel for the state patrol is appointed by the governor.
Wow.
The chief of police of Lincoln is appointed by the mayor. The chief of university police is selected by the board of regents. So yeah, every other law enforcement agency is appointed by somebody.
That's really interesting.
Terry, I got to ask you, do you remember your first day?
As a dispatcher or as the sheriff?
As a chief.
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. The day I was going to get sworn in as sheriff, I had broke my ankle in October of that year in a training. We were doing some tactical training out in Grand Island, and I broke my ankle. So I did the last 6 weeks of that campaign in a cast.
Wow.
And I had just gotten my cast off. I got appointed, I got appointed in November when normally that term would not have started till January. But nonetheless, so I get dressed that morning. I've just got my cast off. My foot's a little gingerly. And a couple of state troopers get involved in a shooting on the interstate, and we're going to do the investigation. So first thing, I'm up on the interstate in my suit and getting ready to get sworn in, in a couple of hours, and we're out on the interstate. And so, so it started off with kind of a bang, and then the very next day was the Nebraska Sheriff's Association's annual convention. So then I took off the next day for North Platte for that convention. So, it was kind of the whole thing was kind of a whirlwind.
Trial by fire.
Yeah, it really was.
Well, Ben, I want to pivot over to you. How long have you worked with Terry? 32 years?
32 years.
32 years.
I think I was the last one not hired by you.
Not hired.
Yeah, I Tom Cassidy hired me, and I think I was the last one that he did. And because you hired Tom Trotter.
Yeah, Tom was the first.
Yeah, and he was
my first hire.
Yeah, so 32 years.
Well, Ben, I want to ask you. You've been with him for 32 years, and you've seen his leadership style, and it's evolved over the years. What stood out to you about Chief Wagner?
The big thing is that I like, one, he'll listen, and he's been innovative. We have come as our sheriff so far as an agency, and from the time in 1993 till now, it is such night and day. We laugh. We'd get in one of those cruisers and we wouldn't even know how to turn it on hardly. There's so much equipment and things in there at this point in time. So I would say that he's always been fair. He'll forgive mistakes as long as the big thing is just don't lie about them. And he'll give you every opportunity. We've been able to grow. We just added the deputy to the gang unit. So, progressive is what he has always been, and fair. I think those are the key things that I take away from him.
Well, Terry, I've always thought you've always, I thought, had a mission. You're always a calm, cool demeanor. How did that come about? I mean, I think people draw to you with your leadership. What was your vision? What was the modernization part in your mind over the years?
Well, sometimes sheriff's offices aren't thought of as being very progressive, and sometimes they almost take a backseat to other law enforcement agencies. And my goal really was to make sure that our agency was as professional as any other, if not better, and to really, make the deputies in our office proud of where they work, proud of the job they do, and in the end, the citizens benefit most from that. They get professional investigations done. Their interactions with our deputies are good, and they're very professional, and so it just all kind of worked out, and that really was my motivating factor.
Yeah. Well, Terry, I'm going to say we posted the ad yesterday for the show and so forth, and I cannot tell you the high number of people views for that just advertisement. I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, but what got me were the comments. Some of the comments, just some of them were just leader. They're so proud to work under you. They're proud to be with you. I think that I caught that yesterday. I thought that was really a wonderful. What are you though most proud of in your career?
Really, I'm most proud of the men and women in our agency. They make me look pretty darn good. I can do a lot of stupid things, and it's the people who are really pounding the streets and doing the job that make me look good. They know their jobs. They do it well, and I'm most proud of our employees.
Oh, absolutely. I'm curious because what are your expectations? I'm sure you have to be tough but fair. But what is your expectations?
Well, just like Ben mentioned a couple minutes ago, I said we could throw out our entire policy manual and just have one page that says don't do stupid stuff. And if you do stupid stuff, don't lie about it. Because if you lie about it, you're gone. And everybody knows that is our golden rule. And I said, I want our deputies to, if they stop somebody, how would you want your mother to be treated if she was stopped by a law enforcement officer, or your daughter, or your son, whatever the case may be, but treat people fairly. And I think over the years, our fair treatment of people has served us very well, because citizens will accept a lot of enforcement actions as long as they feel they're fair. When they don't feel they're fair, that's when they're going to fight you. And so it's treating people fairly, and making sure that we listen to their side of the story and treat them fairly. So I think that's
absolutely.
One thing that has impressed me is, your longevity, because you have to be how many years in between do you have to get reelected?
Every 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, good grief. All these, do the math. I guess maybe I'm terrible at math, but 5, 6 years,
this is my eighth term. Yeah.
Yeah, and you continue. I'm glad you're better at math than me. But you continue. You continue to get reelected. So, to me, that speaks volumes about the job that you're doing. I know in Omaha, there's been a couple turnovers in the past 30 years with sheriffs, and the people, it's obvious your longevity, that the people trust you, that the people admire you, that the people really believe in the job that you're doing. And that just speaks such a testament to you and the job that you've done.
When I first got elected, and it was a very tight race against a very good opposition, a good opponent, and people came up to me and said, I voted for you. And that really meant something, because every vote counts.
Right.
And when people don't vote or say, my vote doesn't count, it infuriates me. And I urge people to vote and make their voices heard for those reasons.
Well, another big thing is he ran opposed once, and then after that, until this last one, nobody ever ran against him. And that says a whole lot about what kind of job he's doing.
Huge.
Yeah. And it makes the election a lot easier too, doesn't it, sir?
It makes the election a lot easier.
With that note, we need to take a quick break, and we'll be back more with honoring Sheriff Terry Wagner in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures. Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Need service on your home air conditioner? No matter what brand you have, just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Hi, I'm Asher on summer break and about to start second grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Aloe Fiber. They donated $193,000 to schools like mine. This summer, I'm using my fast internet to keep learning, and I can't wait to tell my teacher everything I discovered. So if you're a grown-up picking internet, choose Aloe, because Aloe chooses us, our schools, our town, and our future. Go to aloefiber.com to learn more.
Out here on Nebraska's calm, welcoming waters, fishing is a breeze. It's the sweet spot where solo anglers find quiet before the catch, families reel in memories, and first-timers discover what makes fishing so special. From the Panhandle to the Platte, the best fishing happens here beneath Nebraska skies. Get started at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to get real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison Turns on the ones and twos as always. Again, this is What's Next 24. We got the host with Mike and Sherry, 402-464-5685. If you guys want to join in, you can put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo Channel 961. If you got Allo Cable, with that being said, throw it over to the host.
Oh, welcome back. We're honoring Chief Terry Wagner today on his fabulous career. And Ben, again, thank you so much for making this happen today. Terry, I want to just ask you, you've had a lot of people come through your department over the years, from when they were hired and moving up through the ranks. Are there any few that stand out to you that you would like to mention? Or
oh gosh,
I know there's many. I know there's too many. But
we've had some. I always look at the people who left our agencies. Owen Yardley was a captain in our agency and became the chief of the university police department, and then went on to be head of security at a private company. We've had about 4 deputies become deputy U.S. marshals, and one deputy become a Secret Service agent, and one become a security agent for the Department of Defense. And we've just had one of our deputies who just hated to lose him, but because he did such a good job for us, he was hired by the Air Force Office of their Special Investigations, and another deputy was hired by Homeland Security Investigations. So,
oh wow,
yeah, we've lost some good people, and it's because they were such good people that they got noticed by other agencies and were hired. But it's just it's great to see the progression of those young officers when they come on the department, and as they just become more professional, more experienced, and doing a great job. And it's really fun to watch that.
Well, it is, but it's definitely due to your leadership. You've also mentioned too, if you'd like to share, you've lost some deputies.
That's one of my goals. It was March 14th of 1987. It was a Saturday morning, and Deputy Sheriff Craig Dodge was shot and killed in Hickman, and that was the first deputy to be murdered in the line of duty in a long time. And one of my goals was to not lose another employee during the time I was sheriff. And so, that means getting the best protective equipment that we can, getting the best training that we can, and making sure that the deputies have everything they can to do their job as safe as we can. Yeah. So, it's a dangerous job. There's no question about that.
Definitely. And definitely it is.
Especially in these times, it seems to have gotten a lot more intense.
Yep. I think, it used to be a very rare moment when we discovered an illegal weapon on somebody. And now it's so commonplace that we're getting people who shouldn't have weapons because they're disqualified, or their weapons are stolen, or whatever the case may be. So I think the proliferation of bad guys with guns and willing to use them has really increased.
Ben, I'm going to pivot to you, as I'm sure if I ask this next question, Terry's going to be a little shy about it. From your experience, how has Sheriff Wagner helped shape the culture of the Lancaster County office?
Again, I think being progressive, and what he just said, he puts the people number one. He truly just cares. And when we do the hiring and things of that, we spend a good hour with these individuals, making sure that they're going to be a fit and that they're going to serve the citizens of Lancaster County the right way. And the one thing, I make decisions a little bit quicker, and he likes to sit and think, and I've learned that from him too. If the bullets aren't flying, you don't always have to make a decision right there, and he'll listen to his command staff. And I think that is so important that, 7 brains working is a lot better than just one.
Mhm.
And he'll take what people say. Now, when the decision's made, it's final, and we move forward. But I think those are the big things that I take away from him.
Well, I noticed you mentioned how Terry thinks things through.
Yes.
And so I'm going to ask you this question. And what are some of the quiet lessons you picked up from watching how he handled tough situations?
I think inside sometimes, or he's like a duck, maybe his underneath is going really fast, but he always seems really calm and collected, and he takes his time. And I'll be honest, one thing I really envy, he's very good at public speaking, and I'm sometimes a little bit rough around the edges on those, but I love that he does that, and he just has a calm demeanor about himself, and I think that spreads over everything. It's funny, like with the dispatching, when you're in a hot situation and you're on the radio and you have this calm voice coming over who's your dispatcher, and it brings everything down. And when you're really hyped up, you don't always think so well. So I think being calm and collected is extremely important in this position.
Well, let me ask you in a different way. How's he shaped your career?
Well, he promoted me several different times.
Certainly, exactly.
Yeah. When I started in '93, it never came to me, or I never dreamt that I would be where I'm at this point in my career. And those are the big things, in the position I'm in now. We're together a lot, and our offices are just crossed. We have a conference room, and we do a lot of talking and coming back and forth to each other's offices and doing that. And I think those, and just watching how he makes decisions, and it's always the department, the office comes first. Sometimes you got to make some decisions that some of the deputies may not like. You can't make everybody happy all the time, but the office is always the number one, and he always is looking out for his staff.
Well, Terry, let me ask you. I know I find it hard because I enjoy my work, and I enjoy the drive, and I enjoy the intensity of the work. Like whether you're in law enforcement or teachers or coaches do, they love the moment. But you've decided now to retire. What came to that decision?
Well, last week I celebrated 49 years with the sheriff's office, and I'm 70 years old now, so it's time to slow down a bit, spend some time with my wife and doing a little bit of traveling, and maybe spend a little bit more time with the grandkids.
Yeah.
And so
she'd probably get mad if you ran again. I'm teasing you. That she wants you out. She wants you home now.
She was hoping I would retire before the last election, and I didn't. So she's very supportive. She puts up with a lot.
Real quick, I want to make sure I get this in. Now you've decided, or Ben's now decided to step up and run for your position. What qualities now do you see in Ben over the years that you've endorsed him? And you had your press conference last week, which was great.
I'm thrilled that Ben's throwing his hat in the ring. It is not an easy choice to make. I can tell you that, and I know it's been difficult for Ben. It's hard on your personal life. It's hard on your professional life. It could be devastating to your professional life if things don't work out well. But I think the respect that Ben has from those in our agency really it speaks volumes of his leadership, and he does a good job of talking with our employees, and really just gaining their respect is I see that all the time. And that's when I was trying to think about who I was going to select as chief deputy several years ago, a number of employees came and said, Ben really is the guy. He's got the respect of the agency and does a good job. Really very knowledgeable and got a great tactical mind.
Ben, we have heard. We've been spending most of the show talking about Terry the sheriff. Tell us about Terry the man away from the sheriff desk.
Okay. Well, my wife Rhonda is she's a retired travel agent, but she does some traveling now as a host for some group tours. And so I've been able to go on one of those so far that was I could go on. So we want to do a little bit more traveling in that regard. But you know, you mentioned I'm a Corvette enthusiasm, and I am. I'm a a member of the Nebraska Corvette Association, and just love the cars. I have ever since I was a little kid, and got to sit in a Corvette when I was about 9 years old. So I really like my Corvettes. I enjoy hunting, and so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do when I retire. I think the main thing I'm going to do is not carry a gun and not have any employees.
Yeah.
So.
well, Ben, I want to ask you this question, because if as you run, and if you're elected, then you'll step into that role. But I'm sure that Terry will always be there, in the building, in your mind, in your spirit. What legacy do you believe that Terry will have on the department, and as you lead that department?
Well, he's leaving it in a very great state. It's probably, and I know I'm biased, probably one of the best agencies in the Midwest. And that is because of him. And, one of the things, the don't do stupid things is going to stick with me, and I will fire when I'm darn well and ready to, is another thing.
You remember that scene in Top Gun when
Yes.
Tom Cruise is coming back from the plane, and his Rio says, "Why didn't you fire it?" He said, "I'll fire when I'm darn good and ready." And so that I do a lot of movie quotes at times, and so that's when are you going to make that promotion? I will fire when I'm darn good and ready.
Very good. I love that. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, it's got to be The Quiet Man with John Wayne.
Oh yeah, he's a big John Wayne fan too.
Very nice.
Yeah, I have a John Wayne room at home with lots of memorabilia in it.
Do you have a famous quote from? I'll put you on the spot.
Life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid.
Yeah. With that, we need to take another break, and we'll be right back with Sheriff Terry Wagner.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC. Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today.
Western Sand and Gravel is hiring for a variety of positions at their sand and gravel plants near Ashland. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Available positions include plant operators, dredge operators, and shop service technicians. They offer great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, paid holidays, and paid time off. No matter your experience level, on-the-job training is available to help you build a rewarding career with Western Sand and Gravel. Start your career today. Visit westernsand.com.
Bagels & Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in June. Try their brand new S'mores cold brew with graham cracker cold foam. Also try a s'mores croissant and add cake batter cream cheese to any bagel. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through June 29th, get lumberjack pellets for $3.99 when you buy $25 in meat, and a 2-day sale this Friday and Saturday of USDA choice whole boneless ribeye for $13.99 per pound, as well as pork sausage for $1.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards just south of 48th and Holdridge. Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome back into What's Next 24. Harrison earns on the ones and twos as always. Still got a ton of time here left. So with that being said, I'll just throw it right over to the host, Mike and Cherry.
Thanks, Harrison. Really quick, before we get back into our show with Sheriff Wagner, I just want to point out, and just a quick little commercial here. Our good friend Adam Carricker is putting on a football camp. This is for kids from kindergarten through 8th grade, boys and girls, which I love. Thank you, Adam. But the camp is going to be pretty cool. It's not just going to be Adam running this. We've got Amon Green, Eric Crouch, Zach Weigert, and Kenny Wilhite. And these guys are going to work with the kids. They're going to receive next level instruction, coaching, and firsthand guidance from those guys who played at the highest level. This is going to be July 9th here in Lincoln at the Lincoln Youth Football League fields. The kids are going to be taught the game. They'll help accelerate each child's individual development. The campers will be part of high energy, enthusiastic environment. Not only that, they're going to receive a T-shirt, a free T-shirt, autographs, and enjoy a full day of fun and unforgettable memories. They're going to group according to their grades to ensure proper levels of competition and instruction. The camp is going to run from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I believe that they still have openings. All you have to do is go to CarricoChronicles.com, and I believe you can register there. And they want the campers to arrive in athletic attire like gym shorts, cleats, and sneakers. Bring a water bottle. I just threw that one in. And but their top priority is they want to provide your child with a once in a lifetime opportunity experience. So go on to CarricoChronicles.com and get signed up for that because it's coming up real soon. End of commercial.
All right, very good. Terry, you were inducted in the Nebraska Sheriff's Association Hall of Fame in 2021. What did that type of recognition mean to you?
Well, it was very gratifying to be nominated, number one, by some of our employees, and to be selected by the Nebraska Sheriff's Association. It was just very gratifying. So I was really pleased to receive that award, and it was a very nice tribute.
Of all the cases that you've worked on, is there one that stands out that success?
There are a number of different, I call them tracks, that deputies can go on. Some deputies go to criminal investigations, like where Ben spent majority of his career, and I became a traffic accident investigator, and that was kind of my forte, and I got sent out on fatal crashes all the time. But the last crash that I worked was a crash on Highway 77 when it was still 2 lanes. This is 1993, and a van was struck by a semi and killed the mom and dad and daughter, and 3 younger children were severely injured. And I did that case, and we charged that truck driver with a number of different counts. His truck was kind of a mess, and just a number of different charges, and we were able to get convictions on all of those. But I think the main thing was that the surviving children would be taken care of financially for the rest of their lives because of the work that I did on that case. So that case always stuck out in my mind as being really, really gratifying.
Ben, real quick, I want to remind people you've got a podcast.
Yes, we do.
Department. Why don't you share that?
Well, I can't really take the credit on this. Captain John Vick, he went to the FBI National Academy, and then he came back, and he hit me up, says, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I'm thinking, well, I don't know if this is going to take off or do anything. And by gosh, it did. We kind of like what you do. We go around, we have people from our office, and we have them on the show, when they do their specialties and things like that. And then we also have some outside people, agencies that assist us, and we assist them, and we have those people come on and do some talking and doing
I know a really good group that you could have on there. Mike and Sherry,
we would
next
love to. 24.
What's next? Just keep that in mind.
I will keep that in mind.
A couple of final questions. What do you think of now all the social media? It's kind of a change. You didn't have it back in the day. We just had the television, 3 channels.
And I'm really a dinosaur. I'm not on Facebook, and I'm not on any of the social media platforms, mainly because I see a lot of elected officials get in deep trouble with those platforms.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, thankfully we have much more tech savvy people than me in our agency that maintain our social network, our social media page. And it really is the way to get the message out in this day and age. I mean, it certainly wasn't before, but it is now. And that's where a huge percentage of our population can get their news is from social media.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of questions as we get into close here, but what do you hope the department and the community remember most about your time as sheriff?
Gosh, I just hope they look back and think that we made our agency as good as we could, that we did a great job, and that we worked hard to serve the public that pays our wages and elects me. And it really is important that our deputies know that the people we serve are their bosses.
Yeah. And Ben, one question for you. What would you like to say publicly about Terry Wagner before we get off the air?
I'm going to miss him.
Yeah.
I think
we are going to miss him.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I think he has made it so stable at our agency for so long.
Yeah.
Having him there as the sheriff since '94. This is some people a lot only know him as the big guy, and that's going to change. And he should be very, very, very proud of what he has done and the lives he's influenced throughout his years.
And Sheriff, what do you want to tell the community?
What would you like to tell? This is your last.
You know what?
The mic.
Thank you for the opportunity to serve for all these years. Law enforcement is a very honorable profession, and we do great work. And really, we see things that people shouldn't see, and we're that buffer, and we protect people from that sort of thing. And so I just really appreciate the opportunity. Lincoln and Lancaster County is a great place to be a law enforcement officer because we're supported so well by everybody in the community. And so that's really, really gratifying.
And with that, Sherry, I believe we'll see you next week.
Yes, and
That's awesome. Thank you so
for
much,
your
Sherry.
service all these
Ben,
years.
thank you for making
Appreciate
this
it.
happen.
Hey, no problem.
Congratulations. Best of luck moving forward.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Ticket listeners know a drink